Smooth 981 FM. And of course, joining us this morning, as always, Tega Supreme. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you, Tega?
I should be fine eventually.
All right, somebody precisely told me, asked me to say this to you. Tega, please take it easy on us.
Okay, I will try.
Okay. All right, Tega will try.
I will try.
Okay. All right. So, other ways to send in messages as well?
Yes, you can reach out to us to be a part of the conversation on WhatsApp. It's 0809 444 okay? Also, we're on Twitter. We're on Smooth91FM. Please use the hashtag LockerRoom981. There are 2 hours in Locker Room, by the way. So it's LockerRoom981.
Our first story talks about the Cleveland Cavaliers. While the Los Angeles Lakers have struggled without LeBron James, they've had some definitive low points in the 10 games that they've had without him. But Sunday's loss against LeBron's former Cleveland Cavaliers squad is the unequivocal low point of his past 10 games. With the loss, the Lakers are now 3-7 in 10 games without James, and now they find themselves tied with Utah Jazz for 8th in the West at 23-21. Wow.
Yes. So, like the top 8 would be in the playoffs. And just a few weeks ago, when I think it was around Christmas, when Lakers defeated Golden State Warriors or beat Golden State Warriors, it looked like, okay, yes, they're climbing up. They're almost looking like they're going to be third in the Western Conference. Oh, this team is looking great. Then LeBron James picks up that injury, and it is loss. One win and then more loss after the other, and so they won only 3 in 10 games. And what makes this loss even worse, Cleveland Cavaliers have only won 9 games.
Oh boy.
Entire season.
Just like
And then they
wow.
came and they defeated you on your home court.
What are they doing since?
I have no idea, but it is obviously not the prowess of Cleveland Cavaliers. Is the lack of fight and passion that the Lakers put when they were on court. Like they always need that cheerleader on court to yell at them to move the ball a little faster, to do something, and there's no Rajon Rondo now because he's injured. There's no LeBron James, so it seems that there's nobody yelling at somebody, and everybody just calm.
Relax.
So 1 minute they look like they're going to be third in Western Conference. Now it looks like they may not even make the playoff court because they're struggling in 8th. And so the coach called out two players recently. I said, look, you guys are not really carrying the weight. Ingram and Kuzman. And they picked up maybe the game after to say, wait, coach, we're doing the best we can. And then they dropped off again. So maybe he has to call out everybody. I don't know what it is. But what is the 1 minute they look like we're going to be in the playoffs. Now they are looking, can we make the playoffs? And you can imagine that LeBron will be seething in the locker room.
I'm telling you,
like,
this is gonna be
dude,
very upset.
I've worked this hard to play postseason. Don't mess this up. So let's see how this loss is going to reflect on their next few games.
Okay.
All right, let's talk about some tennis. So Rafael Nadal and Kevin Anderson are into the second round. Now, 17-time Grand Slam champion Rafael Nadal overcame James Duckworth in straight sets to reach the second round of the Australian Open. A quote here says, he was playing super aggressive every shot, Nadal said. South African 5th seed, that's Kevin Anderson, also progressed by beating France Adrian Marino 6-3, 5-7, 6-2, 6-1. And the 32-year-old, who has reached the 4th round at Melbourne Park on 3 occasions, served 14 aces, but made 37 on forced errors as he won his opening match in 2 hours, 53 minutes.
Oh, yes. The morning, first of all, it's Australia and it's first game, so a few people are trying to get used to the weather, and the court, and so there's going to be some unforced errors you wouldn't normally see. But Rafa Nadal came in fighting. Like you would have thought that Duckworth upset him from when they came on the court, because he didn't give the guy time to settle down. He didn't give the guy time to breathe. Even if he still looked a bit rusty here or there, he faced every single shot with an aggression. Like there was no smile about it. I don't think it's an aggression he can keep up. I don't think it's one he should keep up on hardcourt if he wants his body to last through the year. But it was a good start to send a message across. Also in Australian Open so far, John Isner has been beaten. First game, he has been knocked out by another American, another giant American I should mention, because that guy is 7 feet. I don't know what's playing tennis for. Just wasted his
Play
basketball.
basketball, you
He
know?
wasted his basketball money, and you're American. You're right there with the
Mm.
NBA just looking at you. But he's knocked out at John Isner. So I'm waiting for a big few names to fall. So that, to make it a little more interesting. But I also want to see Andy Murray. I don't know how long he'll last, so I'm going to be cherishing every minute I see him.
Do you predict that he's going to go past the first round though?
Baptista Agut is a tough one. He's not very good on your hip. He likes to play long rallies. So even if Andy Murray maybe gets one set, it's a grand slam. So because it's best of 5 sets, that's where the problem is. Maybe if it was just best of 3, I'd say he could make it. But best of 5,
But that hip,
yeah,
you
with
want
that
to
hoop,
stretch him
yeah,
again, so-
Agut will just stretch the match and it'll basically be over.
All right, so we have this one here. Inter Milan cruised into the quarterfinals of the Coppa Italia on Sunday after beating second-tier Benevento 6-2 in a match played behind closed doors following the racist abuse of Senegal defender Kalidou Koulibaly last month. According to the Inter Milan coach, Luciano Spalletti, he says that wasn't a real match tonight. The protagonists of the game are the fans, who should come and have fun watching the show on the pitch. We can't deprive good people of enjoyment because others disturb the match with their behavior. We need to reward that type of fan who needs to take a stand against the chants that they do not want to take part in.
Well, sorry, Spalletti, there's nothing we can do about it. Your team did still manage to win, and they did score a lot of goals, 6 to be precise. But if you are known, or if your supporters are known to continue belting out racist chants, at some point there's going to be repercussions, and this is one of those repercussions. So deal with it. It's not like, I mean, if you're in Koulibaly's shoes, I'm sure you'd not be saying it, the same thing. But what happened in Coppa Italia is that the big names still stayed in. Napoli made it through, AC Milan made it through, Juve made it through. Eventually they're going to be squaring off against each other, and that's the part of the Coppa Italia I want to see. I think the very next round, AC Milan faces Napoli. And then if Atalanta wins, then I think Juve Atalanta, it's just, the big boys are just going to start facing each other, and that's where Coppa Italia becomes, more exciting to see. But Spalletti cannot complain. It is to make matters worse. So Inter Milan had their fans had to play behind closed doors. Then you go over to the Roma match this weekend, and there were racist chants again. So if it's
bad behavior.
do you understand? If it's a one-off behavior, they're trying to stamp out something. They are going to have to start taking drastic measures, like telling the fans that, you know what, hold on to your money, stay at home. So if you want to watch a match, be on your best behavior. So they're trying, because they want to make those corrections, they have to be drastic. So Spalletti, sorry, enjoy your punishment.
Victor Sai has something to say about the Lakers game. He says he felt ashamed watching the Lakers last night. It was abysmal, way pitiful, he said.
Yeah, sorry.
This one here says, good one for the Nigerian contingents. Okay, let's see. This one here says, talking about Manchester United, we're going to get to that story, so maybe we should save that for the break.
All right, so we'll take a break here, Lagos. We'll be back to treat more stories inside of the locker room. If you're listening to us, this is Smooth 98.1. And remember, there are different ways to send messages across. Send it through WhatsApp to 0809-444-0981. You can also send it with the hashtag LockerRoom981 on Twitter.
It's a long story. They cannot be writing book.
No, this is not.
So it starts with the names of people who sent it to us.
They cannot be writing
Like,
book.
story. These are old stories. They just flashed through.
No.
No,
This is the NPL fail just today.
first story.
This is this week, but it doesn't concern me. The NPL fail just started this week.
I know it's just flashed.
So it's a very fresh story. He just wants to recognize that. So you can say
Should we
that.
acknowledge him?
No, you can read it. He sent it this morning. Please read it. But that guy,
Which one? The first
that
one with
one
the
that wrote a
episode.
book. Please, I should try and make the story shorter. I'm so tired. Takumi, thank you so much. Now that I'm awake, I have snacks for Australian Open. You're such a pretty girl. Do you know that?
Suddenly.
No, you've been pretty since. Just
Never
sometimes
told me.
you need Doritos to see things. Your view is blocked by hunger. So, thank you. How was your friend? Let me ask.
Not again.
Please, we're
What's
recording on YouTube.
Yeah.
How was your friend?
So there's no 840 ad.
Eh?
There's no
Apparently not.
840 ad.
And when
We can put a line in to break it. What do you think?
No, always right through. We'll take messages when they're coming. Or probably could take a long line out.
oh goodness. I think it was packing my hair up that made me heavy, which means I'm going to walk around with my hair stuck out today.
Alright.
Are we looking?
I mean, what happens when they don't come in?
They got stocks. Continue. But they will come in. The name of the blood of Smith.
The layer of blood of Smith.
Better go and kneel down and start to kabash in that corner.
Studio. Mics are up. It's a Monday, the 14th of January 2019. We're talking sports inside the locker room, and you can, of course, join us through Twitter at Smooth981FM. Use that hashtag LockerRoom981.
All right, so let's talk about Manchester United, but from another angle. Now, Mauricio Pochettino says Tottenham's best performance in loss to Manchester United. Well, he talks about that generally. Now, Mauricio Pochettino conceded to David De Gea. He said that he was the difference as Manchester United beat Spurs despite what he labelled the best performance of his tenure. And a quote here said, "I'm so pleased and proud," Pochettino said. After 4.5 years, the second half was the best performance I have seen Tottenham play. It was so amazing, and I think De Gea made 11 saves, which is unbelievable in football. Unbelievable. In football, sometimes you deserve to win, and don't. Other times, you do not win. That is why we love football. He further says, "We were not clinical, and sometimes you score with less opportunities, but it is nothing to complain about. The team played unbelievable football, and everyone who watched the game can feel the same as myself."
Yeah, the difference between everyone who watched the game and you is that you're the manager, you're supposed to win. That's the difference. The rest of us enjoyed the game, but you were supposed to win. But again,
Sorry.
chokers. That's what they do all the time. So,
You got one job.
You got one job to choke. but here's what's interesting, and I think Brittany alluded to this fact just a bit on Friday when he was talking about the possibilities that Manchester United had this weekend, and he kept leaning towards how they could get a result. But what happened on the day was Tottenham started slowly. Very slowly. Manchester United had a very good strategy. We are going to try and contain and hit on the counter. He sounds like one Mourinho guy, but hey, what can I say? And they followed it strictly, and so which is why they started with the pace up front with the Rashford, the Lingard, and Martial. For me, Martial is not one of the fastest guys, but he knows how to position himself well with defenders. And so that pace up front made their counter, even before the goal came, their counter already started looking threatening. From the first counter attack they had, the first two chances they created, you could tell, okay, these guys mean business. I know what they're trying to do. On the other hand, Harry Kane and Tottenham did not handle the first half very well. And what made matters worse was when Sissoko picked up his injury and had to leave, they did not rearrange their team. Lamela is not going to fall back at defense, sorry. Not in any time, not in any lifetime. And so it was left for the likes of Harry Winks and Ben Davies to pick up the pace. Those guys did not get the manuscript, they did not read it, and unfortunately Manchester United had that beautiful pass from Paul Pogba. Rashford scored the goal and they got the lead. But trust me, with all the applause Rashford has been getting, he had nothing, because his goal would have counted for nothing if David De Gea did not have a fantastic day in goal.
11 goals.
Look,
That's what he said.
it wasn't even his hand, it was his legs. So,
every part of his
do you understand? Because sometimes he's moved to one side and the ball is coming the other side and the toe just gets it. The toenail, not the full toe. Just the toenail gets it. He was on fire on the day. And, it's the kind of thing that you see and say, these players, have determined that they will play.
Mm.
I'm not saying that Solskjaer did not do anything. Solskjaer actually, I mean, maybe he's giving them the spirit or the encouragement they need. But what it is, I think that these Manchester United players have had lunch with each other and have said we are going to play our lives out,
Yes.
because every single person put in their effort. So we saw the heroics of David De Gea. We saw the goal that Rashford scored and the ball that Pogba made. But I mean, Lindelof walked his socks off, and so did Herrera, and so did Matic. And so you're looking at all these guys, and they're doing brilliantly in every single game. And even those that came on the bench was like, somebody else has won the cape, let me not come and drop it. So everybody came off the bench and tried to carry on. So you're looking at this team and you're saying, where have you guys been? Nice to meet you. I haven't seen you since. And that spirit can drive them and push them forward. And look at them. I think they were 9 points behind Arsenal, and now they are
level on points. Does this mean that Solskjaer will get the job though?
I have no idea. I think he should keep it. I mean, if he's doing the job, you might as well keep him.
As a caretaker.
Yes, I don't know why you're going for the Mauricio Pochettino that he beat. I don't know. Maybe he has to beat Gareth Southgate. I don't understand, for you to determine that. So I think if you ask me, with the backing, and you can see that Alex Ferguson is invested in this particular guy. He hasn't been invested like the other guys he just watches, but you can see that there's probably a phone call or two going on behind the scenes. So if there's such an endorsement from one of your greats on your team, I think keep him. If you ask me, keep him and give him whatever he wants. If he wants to be head of Brexit, give it to him.
I like that. Victor Osai has a message here. It says, they said relax, it's just Cardiff. Relax, it's just Huddersfield. Relax, it's just Bournemouth. Relax, it's just Newcastle. Relax, it's just Reading. Relax, it's just Tottenham.
Yeah.
We relax.
Who's the next one coming?
All right, let's take more messages here. This one is from Niola Oluwashemi Samuel. Said, unbelievable. What do you call that? To hear better than Morata with this foot. Morata should run to the Spanish colleague for tutorial on how to put his leg in the right place. Niola, well done. This other one here is from Chimobi Victor.
Says AC Milan and Napoli facing each other in the Coppa Italia surely would be a cracker. While for the Inter coach, he should keep quiet. And he further says the trio of Rashford, Paul Pogba, and De Gea are the rats in the Manchester United who conspired to sack Mourinho in the club. While for Man City, they must win tonight to keep chasing Liverpool. And well, he further says congratulations to Manchester United for getting the job done against Tottenham Hotspurs. Well, the team won. I can tell you this morning is David De Gea succeeded in saving their job. I guess that's what you're trying to say here. All right.
Let's move on to the next story. Lionel Messi scored his 400th La Liga goal on Sunday. A total his coach Ernesto Valverde called monstrous as Barcelona terrorized Eibar to reclaim their 5-point cushion at the top of the table. According to Valverde, after the 3-0 victory, he said, "It is monstrous. It is easy to say, but you have to score them one after the other. It's a long-term job." His numbers are stratospheric, incredible. He's from another galaxy. Real Madrid won to, beating Real Betis to ensure that Spain's big three all prevailed in the same round for only the 4th time this season. Real remains 10 points adrift of Barcelona.
Yeah, I like the way they said Spain's big three, because the Tottenham of Spain, Sevilla, choked too. So I don't know. I can't let them go. No, they're going to win the league. Tottenham are never contenders for any league title. Never. They just there to occupy space.
And what you guys?
Matter. Anyways, going back to this game, it was interesting the way Barcelona set up with all the noise amidst Coutinho's transfer. He's not happy. We need to move him, and I totally understand his struggles, because sometimes they compare him to Ousmane Dembele, who is a forward and is always going to get more goals. And then in the midfield, there's not really much. He hasn't really found his identity in that midfield, and so there's that struggle, and when they buy you for that amount of money, you don't have time to be looking for yourself. You just get in there and start to express yourself, and that's where his struggle has been, and he hasn't really been happy. So he comes in and he already looks like there's a shadow following him around. So with all of that, I was surprised that Valverde chose the starting 11 and Coutinho was in the lineup. Not just that, even when they're making substitutions, He brought in Dembele and still left Coutinho on the line. I was like, "Ooh, what did Coutinho do to this guy?" But it's an opportunity for Coutinho to you want to play, so play. And I think he should use this as a second chance and try to find some joy in that midfield because otherwise his career is just going to go back down. It was on a trajectory up, but when you fail at Barcelona, and you're not really needed at the Liverpool that you have left because they are doing so well without you, it may be a struggle to find another place that you really be celebrated like you were at Liverpool. But he starts the game, and Barcelona didn't. They played a very casual first half. Yes, Luis Suarez got a goal in the first half, but it was a really casual performance by Barcelona. Iber, on the other hand, were the ones that looked a lot hungrier. They didn't want to go away with as much defeat, with as many goals as they've been conceding in their previous meetings. They just wanted to, I think, stamp the authority on the game and let Barcelona know that we came here to play. We didn't come here to be beaten. Unfortunately, second half, one little wizard. Yeah, scored his 400th goal in the La Liga, and on the heel of that, Suarez scored the second goal, his second goal in the game. It was just
It was all over for
it was a nail in coffin. It was done. So Barcelona had spots of brilliances, but most in general they were in training. And that was the bitter part. On the other hand, for Real Madrid, they struggled and they got the win that they desired, especially against a team like Real Betis at home. But you look at that team and say maybe, just maybe, Solari should continue with the young guys because they seem like more like they have something to prove. They don't have any airs, and they're just running, chasing the game, creating chances for each other, trying to prove a point. So they're working a lot harder because I think after the first goal comes in from Luka Modric, for Real Madrid, the game kind of died down. But when Benzema picked up that injury where his finger was pointing south, it was a gross injury. He broke his finger, his little finger, and it went. When he picked up that injury and he left, you just kept seeing the young guys chase ball after ball, run after run, and then for Ceballos, who was a former Real Betis player, to come and score from a direct free kick, was a good result for Solaria. Maybe a result that has kept his job one more weekend. But I think if he wants to get anything out of Real Madrid, he should keep using the younger guys.
All right, thank you very much for that one. Don't forget, leaders, so we have a few more minutes before we go on a break. Just reach out to us on WhatsApp at 0809
Ike from Navy Town sent in its message. It says Tottenham Hotspur shot themselves in the foot with that horrible first half performance. The formation is not working, and they should thank Sissoko for getting injured. Manchester United had their share of luck and hard work during the second half. De Gea was a beast yesterday. I heard someone saying De Gea knows how to use his legs more than Morata. Seems true though, he says. And then he adds, Manchester United should not give Solskjaer the job. Well, that's how they gave that Madrid coach the job after some good performances. And we all know how it's going for them now. Let him just finish his IT and go back to Ghana.
Okay, that's a nice one though.
Okay, MVP for the day.
Nice. Why? And then Tony Ayo says, from Ayobo says, what I don't seem to understand is why this defense of the chief. Oh no, this has nothing to do with this show. But anyway, thank you very much, Lagos. Let's take a short break. We'll be back to continue the rest of the stories. Okay, there's some messages from Freshly.
Yeah, they're mixing up.
Sorry.
They'll be fine. Deliciano Lopez, when are you retiring so that we can cry soon? Deliciano Lopez is about to be knocked out.
So this code of conduct tribunal story is what we'll take in case.
Just to show.
That's a good
But I
thing.
don't think he wants to break his commitment.
What?
Since he's already committed to come, I don't think
I
he
hope
wants
so.
to.
Studio. We're back. We'll start with the story. The next story, yeah? If you check the time, it's 19 minutes before 9 o'clock. Still more sports stories inside the locker room this morning.
Let's talk about Arsenal, shall we? Arsenal lack consistency for top four finish, says their coach, Unai Emery.
Wow.
And he says that they're currently too inconsistent to finish in the Premier League top four. A quote here says, I think the most important thing for us is to recover our confidence and be more competitive. We need consistency over 38 matches. Tega, does this sound familiar?
He should travel. That's what they brought him for, to bring the consistency. He's now telling us what we know. We've already diagnosed the problem. We brought in doctor, and now the doctor is telling us what the problem is again. Do your job. But they have really. It's intriguing. Exactly. I mean, after having your 22 match unbeaten, and then you have this kind of losses, and all of a sudden you are so far behind, and you don't look any different from Arsene Wenger. Then the question becomes, why did we fire the guy
And
that
bring
came,
you in.
that came before you when you are doing the exact same job? In fact, you're even doing a worse-off job defensively, because that's the thing about Arsenal. Only 3 clean sheets in the Premier League so far. The same amount of clean sheets that Fulham have at the bottom of the table.
My gosh.
The only difference is they had scored them.
The only difference is that Fulham is battling relegation and Arsenal is just enjoying mid-table, because that's where they are most likely going to end up. But so he needs to sort that out. It's not something he should complain to people that are watching about. It's something that he needs to sort out in his own private time, because we know the problem. Trust me, everybody can see the lack of consistency with Arsenal. What is the solution? Physician, tell us. And a few things that, if you ask me, I'd say too much in his, especially with him, is the way he doesn't make his changes or read the matches immediately, because it was always a game that was going to be tough. It was a London derby, a few West Ham players that have played for Arsenal with points to prove. He had a lot riding on it. Then his team comes out with a lackluster tempo, and then after halftime, you expect that at halftime you would have talked to your team, maybe brought out the hair dryer moment, just let them come in with some aggression. They came in the same way, dancing to blues when they were playing reggae. So it's on him. Yes, his players have some questions to answer, but most in general, he, as the conductor of the team, also has a lot of questions to answer. So stop telling us the problem on the Emery. Tell us how you be different from Arsene Wenger.
Shego from Ishaga says it's high time United board should take that's only social serious. Now the team is playing for the coach. As for Messi, when will he stop breaking records?
Tomorrow.
Maybe when he leaves Barcelona.
Emma from Akoka sent this one. It says, in the land of Manchester, the destiny of the Red Devils lies in the hands of one man. His name, David De Gea. Jeff Bezos should hire this guy. Ole truly is the babyface assassin. Some people are falling profit because they predicted a win. My pain is that Arsenal brought bread to you only to lose to ordinary white rice. Am I? Last warning. So yes, we have this other one from Zlatan. Oh, rather, actually, Adetunji from Igordo.
Says, good morning, guys. David Omote here is the king of Lego. Zlatan should respect himself. Tega, please, what's the difference between United's win and Arsenal's last season and yesterday's win?
People should ask people that sack Mourinho. You ask me.
And then Ugoma Chidoza says, Tega Mata, anything that has weight and occupies space. Okay. Lagos, thank you very much for having this conversation with us. We couldn't take more of your messages, but do join us at the top of the hour for Lagos Talks 981. Catch Tega up on socials at Tega Supreme or at LIS International for the latest updates and latest in sports. And Kayode and myself are here, all right, to talk to you, Lagos. The number to call at the top of the hour is 0144 89981.